This video might be the most important video that I will ever get to make. And it's gonna be especially important for people who are not sure which cryptos to buy, or more importantly, who are not sure how to get started with crypto and they've got some excuse. I'm gonna show you a little clip from a very important video that makes you understand, hopefully, yourself a little bit better, because once you understand yourself and the reason you make some certain choices, you're gonna be able to get so much farther. And so after you've watched this video, I'm gonna explain to you guys exactly how I think the majority of everybody watching will become a millionaire in the next 2 years. Please watch this video.
Life is a matter of choice. And the world we used to live in looked like this. That is to say, there were some choices, but not everything was a matter of choice. And the world we now live in looks like this. And the question is this good news or bad news? And the answer is yes. We all know what's good about it, so I'm going to talk about what's bad about it. All of this choice has two negative effects on people. One effect, paradoxically, is that it produces paralysis rather than liberation. With so many options to choose from, people find it very difficult to choose at all. I'll give you one very dramatic example of this, a study that was done of investments in voluntary retirement plans. A colleague of mine got access to investment records from Vanguard, the gigantic mutual fund company of about 1 million employees in about 2,000 different workplaces. And what she found is that for every 10 mutual funds the employer offered, rate of participation went down 2%. You offer 50 funds, 10% fewer employees participate than if you only offer 5. Why? Because with 50 funds to choose from, it's so damn hard to decide which fund to choose that you'll just put it off till tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, and of course tomorrow never comes. Understand that not only does this mean that people are going to have to eat dog food when they retire because they don't have enough money put away, it also means that making the decision is so hard that they pass up significant matching money from the employer. By not participating, they are passing up as much as $5,000 a year from the employer, who would happily match their contribution. So paralysis is a consequence of having too many choices, and I think it makes the world look like this. You really want to get the decision right if it's for all eternity, right? You don't want to pick the wrong mutual fund or even the wrong salad dressing. So that's one effect. The second effect is that even if we manage to overcome the paralysis and make a choice, we end up less satisfied with the result of the choice than we would be if we had fewer options to choose from.
And to not let him do all the work for me here, because I basically could have just shown you this video and be done. Let's summarize exactly what he said. Part number one is, generally speaking, the more choices you have in this instance, the less likely you are to choose at all. With regards to crypto, that means if there was only one crypto, or in theory, a crypto ETF, you could have just bought, hey, I'm buying crypto, and it's just a simple click of a button. Would have been a pretty simple step. But now, once you look into crypto, there's a daunting list of tens of thousands of different coins. Where do you start? Which one do you buy? And that, to a lot of people, I've seen it in my own circles, is very paralyzing. It puts you off from investing because there's too much choice. There are too many ways to go about it. And now point number two that he made is, let's say you do make a choice. And we see this very often. This is why this video is still helpful for people that are already into crypto, to get your mind in the game properly. I see this with XRP investors. I see this with Bitcoin investors. I see this with meme coin investors. We recently talked about why Michael Saylor only buys Bitcoin knowing that most other altcoins will outperform it. The reason he does so is because he feels the certainty there. He feels the necessity to participate with the platform. He does not feel as certain about other cryptos, and he doesn't care about the gain as much. What we have in today's world, a lot of, is the moment you make a choice, you're basically thinking of whatever other choice you could have made that would have been better for you. If there's only one option and it does bad, then yeah, I guess you made a bad choice investing in the sector, but basically it's the sector's fault for not succeeding. But if you've got a whole watch list and you pick the wrong ones that do bad, yourself are the one to blame. So you'll always be thinking about, what if I made a different choice that would have been better? And because of this feeling of regret, you might get less satisfaction out of every single choice you make right here. And I see this very often when people tell me, hey, I really should not have bought crypto. I bought it the wrong time. And my understanding of this is, well, you bought at an, I guess, less than optimal price, but you got it at a very good price. And if you play your cards right, that's gonna be in a massive amount of profit really soon. But the counterweight to that, the thought that many people come up to me with is, I should have just bought later, should have just bought earlier. Most of the time they just say I should have bought later. To which I can say, you can't know the future, and you were given the options of buying now, buying the future, or buying both. With the cards that you were dealt, you, in my opinion, made the best choice at the time. But you let the fact that you could have potentially gotten a better entry eat away at your satisfaction from being a early crypto adopter. A good example here is somebody who bought crypto in 2017, so 3 years earlier, can be way less satisfied being into crypto than somebody who bought in 2020, 3 years later. Why? Because in 2017, you might have bought Bitcoin at 17, 19, whatever, $1,000. While in 2020, you might have bought at $3,000. Almost anybody would say, oh, 2017, I wish I bought 3 years earlier, and so forth and so on. But still, you see how you can still make your mind think a certain way of being early here being more of a bad thing than a good thing. And like you could have seen in the video as well, I'd personally like to argue that whatever you value something at is in direct relationship with what you compare it to. Just thinking about the thought, you bought Bitcoin in 2017, or crypto in 2017, you're an early adopter, got pretty low prices generally speaking. If we compare then to now, you got it at a really opportune time. That would have been amazing. If we compare then to 2020, you basically got scammed, because even though you were earlier, you still bought at a price significantly higher. So the satisfaction you get out of being early or buying the crypto at all really depends on what time you compare it with. If you compare it to 2020, then buying in 2017 was such a bad choice. If you compare it to right now today, buying in 2017 was an amazing choice. If you compare it with your friend who bought the top of the 2021 bull market, you made an amazing choice. If you compare it with your friend who bought the 2020 lows, you made an awful choice. The baseline is, you were able to see this investment category. You learned how to invest in things. You understood this market to be able to choose cryptos to buy. You understood how to potentially buy or sell, and you understood the risk. You understood the whole game. It's so beautiful to conceptualize you're better at something than 99% of the world because you're able to understand to do it, yet you still find a way to make it seem like a negative thing or a bad thing. To not mouth off here for too long, there's two main principles I want you to take away with this. Number one is understand how lucky you are that you're able to watch this video right now, because it means you're thinking about these investments in a smarter way than 99% of the people in the world. You might not believe me when I say 99%. Trust me, if you go up to 100 people in the street, it's going to depend a little bit on where you are. If you're in a big city like New York or LA, it might be a little bit different. Or if you're in Dubai, for example, then just any normal random village, normal city, not the main capitals. And you ask them about what investments they've recently made and how they're keeping up to date with their investment and what their investment strategy is. Most people will look at you like you're a maniac for asking them about an investment strategy. And the funniest thing is, I even come across financial planners, financial advisors, and things of that sort. So people who help you understand your finances that don't even invest money themselves. It's that funny. They understand exactly the principles, but they lack any sort of funds, they think. Or rather, they understand, and this is why I'm saying that this video is important for people who are beginners, but also good in the field. Even people who know in theory exactly what would be best to do sometimes get paralyzed by the idea there are too many choices. If you understand the investment realm, you understand there's infinite opportunity. You can always make a better choice than you made. There's always going to be something that was better. You're always going to regret the idea that you had at some point because there's always a better option. And you always understand you can never put your money to the most efficient use because, again, you don't know everything up front. But again, regret will almost always come because you'll come to know of things afterwards. It's a pretty depressing game, especially if you are a financial advisor or a financial planner with no money of your own and having this paralysis of sorts because it's just overwhelming. It's a lot easier to tell others what to do than to do it yourself. And that's why in these videos, I don't just theorize about things that I think would be best. I try to talk from personal experience and try to share my journey, my lessons, my thoughts with you, because I really hope that there's some people out there watching who understand my thinking process and through that can make their lives better. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do believe the skills I've acquired over these years can be extremely helpful to people getting into investing. And the number one thing I can always tell people is it's going to be overwhelming and you won't know everything up front, but it doesn't matter. Even if you make the wrong choice, getting into investing and the fact you're making these choices, albeit that they were pretty dumb, the fact you are making them and you're able to actively invest and understand your investments. You don't have to fully know the deepest detail of them, but you understand why you are buying something. That's basically all you need over the long run to succeed. What I said at the start of the video was, I think a lot of people can become millionaires in the next 2 years. The reason I said that with that much confidence is because I've seen so many bull markets. In crypto, I'm telling you right now, if it happens to any degree, like all the last cycles, it's going to go like this. Bitcoin's going to run up first. Then all coins that are kind of on the higher up echelon, and then altcoins on the lower end are going to go ape shit, monkey, crazy balls, insane. If you understand this philosophy, it's not good enough. You have to really feel, believe, and act on it. Because as I said in so many of my videos, the reason it takes 3 bull runs to really capitalize and make billions potentially, right, is not because people don't understand the theory. They do, but it's really hard to buy the bottom, sell the top, because when things are going up, you think they'll continue to go up forever. When things are going down, you think they'll continue to go down forever. That's generally speaking how these things work. Just trust me on that. Really, once you're in a bull market, there'll be people saying every day it's going to collapse, but then it continues to pump for another year and a half. And there's people going to continue to say, no, it's going to go up forever now, but then it collapses the next day. So the most important thing there being, never get overconfident. Stand behind the choices you make, but also don't be afraid to take less profit than would have been ideal. But as a baseline, follow the strategy you know that works. And the strategy that works is Bitcoin first. This is just my honest opinion. I cannot say I'm 100% following this, but I'm saying that this, in theory, has worked the best over time and will most likely continue to work the best. But mentally, it is not that simple. Bitcoin first, move over into big certain altcoins, move over into crazy small altcoins, move back to Ethereum, Bitcoin, get out to fiat. And then again, as the cycle comes back up, you go from fiat to Bitcoin, and you kind of go on that little circle time and time again. Once more, you're going to have an infinite choice of when to sell, when to get out, when to give up or take profit. Understand that you will always regret the moment you choose. Perhaps even if you sold at $69,000 per Bitcoin, you might still regret not opening a short on Bitcoin the same day. You might still regret not buying a specific altcoin on that day. And so, again, if we have to come to a conclusion, if you, in your own head, can minimize this regret, regardless of whatever decision you make, and just try to see the positive sides of any action you take, things are definitely on a good tangent for you. A lot of people will not like these theoretical videos talking more about the investment philosophy rather than just some price predictions. But as I said in hopefully out of my videos, I'm genuinely trying to help people here. I'm really honestly thinking every single day of what the best philosophy is to investing and how to really master your mind with that to help the most amount of people. And so sometimes a theoretical video like this, I think, can really help people or put people on the right track. Because even around my circles, guys, these people understand that investing is my game. I've invested in so many hundreds of companies, hundreds of cryptos. I understand the game better than a lot of people. I won't say I'm the best, but I understand the game better than most average Joes. Yet even my own family would look at me and think, you're really sure that this stuff is going to work out? And I tell them, even if it doesn't, I'm very happy that I made this choice to try. And there comes my last little piece here, which is, if I had $1,000 right now, all right, this is, I'd say, a good amount to invest with for the average person, right? There's going to be people who only have $10. There's going to be people who have $6 million to invest with. I'm going to say $1,000 to keep it manageable for most people watching this. Not everybody, but most people watching this have got $1,000 to invest. I would go pretty crazy on that 1,000. Why? Because right now, with the way the market is looking, we've got ourselves a crazy opportunity. And I always say it like this: the money, the $1,000, if I work properly, I'll make that again. Especially if you're in Europe or America, you'll make that again. But the opportunity, you might never get again. And if our main concept is to minimize regret, I'd always rather just try it out and it failing than me having to regret that I never tried the rest of my life. But yeah, as we continue on over the next couple of months, I'll be sharing so many updates about which altcoins I'm buying, why I'm buying them, that I hopefully can take away a lot of this difficult choosing process from you. I'm not going to say I'll make the best portfolio out there, because again, as you all know by now, there's always going to be a better portfolio. There's always going to be a better option. But I do believe we're pretty good at it to make our money go pretty far. And again, even though I'm not a financial advisor, I hope you guys will join me on my journey. And hopefully I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.